Globally, the mining sector is male-dominated and impediments still exist for women to penetrate. In spite of a growing recognition of women's abilities to excel in various sectors, there has been a failure in many countries to reform mining laws and regulations in order to fully mainstream gender equality and acknowledge women as active participants in the sector. In Zambia, the mining sector is the largest contributor to gross domestic product and one of the major employing sectors. According to Zambia's 2019 labor force survey, the mining and quarry sector employs about 79,933 people, of which 68,913 are males while 11,020 are females, representing 86.2% and 13.8% respectively. Although there are considerable environmental and economic benefits to the inclusive participation of women in the sector, many women continue to be exploited either informally in the sector or its auxiliary sectors. The Gender Status Report links education and stereotyping of women as significant gender barriers in Zambia's mining sector. Other similar fields where women continue to lag behind are in the construction and energy sectors. The emergence of organized artisanal and small-scale mining poses an opportunity for better participation of women in the mining industry. ASM refers to small groups and individuals engaged in low-cost and labor-intensive excavation of minerals using minimal mechanization. ASM activities tend to be informal with the use of minimal technology. Despite ASM being a labor-intensive activity and a critical source of income for women, they tend to earn only 1/4 of what men earn in the ASM sector. Another major issue is that women do not enjoy the same opportunities around access to, control over, and benefits from artisanal mining in their communities. Hence there is a need for policies that promote women's economic empowerment and inclusion in the mining sector. Further, there is an urgent need for a shift in mindset in order to transcend societal norms and values that promote gender inequalities and barriers to women's active participation in the national development agenda. The ASM sector has the potential to drive economic growth, alleviate poverty, and contribute to development. In terms of gender, a new focus has been placed on the income-generating opportunities for women involved in the various stages of mineral extraction. The sector presents an opportunity for locals to own their minerals and engage in mining activities, as ASM rights are reserved for local citizens. Much of the activities in ASM remain undocumented and underdeveloped, therefore, there is need for government to take stock of where these activities are taking place and map formalization strategies in order to contribute effectively to the growth of the economy. As the sector is gradually expanding, there are opportunities for growth, formalization and revenue gains for the country. However, there is need to properly define the ASM through the development of a standalone mining policy in order to clearly identify the challenges and opportunities, as well as provide incentives and promote growth of ASMs. In order to understand the challenges and opportunities women face within the ASM sector, the PMRC team embarked on a journey to visit women actively engaged in mining. The following challenges were identified for women in ASM sector. 1. Inadequate technical skills. Most women engaged in ASM lack training in technical skills such as mining engineering, geology, surveying, and metallurgy, among others. This study's participants revealed that they decided to participate in ASM out of interest and that they did not have the relevant training beforehand, but had to learn their way through the process. They mostly relied on training opportunities through associations such as the Association of Zambian Women in Mining, and other capacity-building training organized by the United Nations Development Programme. It was found that the lack of technical skills posed a barrier for women to penetrate the sector, or to effectively benefit from it. Equally, the lack of access to these technical skills due to limited financing, impacted their productivity.
You know, in this industry, are very few women owning mines. I'm a trustee in women in mining, but discovered that very few women have mines. So we tend to have these people working as our overseers which is not supposed to be the case. And we tend not to benefit. We do not take full benefits as it is supposed to be. Now, I don't know what the government is thinking about us women. It's not an easy thing, as you can see, coming to an area like this, and then you have to work, get back. So it calls for endurance. But if the government can make it easier, just as they have started, then we appreciate that gesture. And you're looking at the way things are, like in our association, we are very few people with minds, and we can easily be empowered. And one policy that I've always been talking about, when people tend to call themselves women in mining, they have to get the feel of it. They have to know exactly what a woman has to go through. So instead of just calling ourselves women in mining when we don't have mines, even when they have a chance to talk about machinery, it can't come from their hearts. Now, as miners who are on the ground mining, we feel it. So if the government can consider anybody to be called a woman in mining should have mining rights, should have a mine, so that that person is able to understand. So we tend to have not to understand each other because others are in trading. So, it's easy for you to, you get money or you borrow money from somewhere, you buy stones. You don't know you don't know what that miner is going through. But we really need the government intervention in this.
2. Cost of obtaining mining rights. Although obtaining a mining license was relatively affordable, this study found that the processes attached to it were considerably costly and bureaucratic. Accompanying documents such as an environmental project brief was costly for ASM in general, and more so for women who disproportionately lack access to finance. Although the majority indicated that the cost of obtaining an artisanal or small-scale license was relatively affordable, it was still a challenge for many people, such as those in rural areas, to own these rights and meet the auxiliary requirements. Thus, some miners would opt to engage in illegal mining or partner with other people. However, there was an indication that such partnerships were seldomly mutually beneficial to indigenous people, who in some cases would sell off the land, or be displaced by investors. 3. Limited access to financing. The challenges women face in ASM are interlinked and reinforcing. For instance, the lack of access to finance and knowledge impacts the type of machinery, technology, and information needed to adequately implement good mining practices. Further, the inability to access finance was also a result of low literacy levels and inadequate technical skills being a major barrier to accessing investment among some groups of women. The women interviewed indicated that mining is considered a high-risk capital venture by financial institutions such as banks, thus access to credit was a major challenge. This consequently limited their ability to hire essential machinery such as excavators, dump trucks, and bulldozers.
Well, it's not easy to convince someone to help with finances under mining. Mostly, wherever you go, if you are looking for capital and they ask you the project, if you tell them it's mining, normally the answer is no, they are not funding money. I don't know the reason or the history why they don't fund capital. Mostly, even if they tell you that they don't fund money.
But with mining, when you go to the bank, they say it's a risk business. So I don't think there's any I've known who has accessed funds. They say it's risky because you need to have a geological report, which is expensive also to get. It's more than $10,000 to get the geological report. Not the ones that you get when you are turning to getting just a simple geological report from one of the geologists. Yeah, so if you get a bankable document, it can help you get some funds from the bank. but not as it is.
4. Pricing. The study's participants revealed that local people were not benefiting as much from the minerals they were trading in comparison to foreign buyers due to limited negotiating power. They recommended that the government needed to regulate the pricing of gemstones in consultation with stakeholders in order to secure maximum benefits for locals that would then plow back the resources into their businesses, and ultimately the economy. 5. Cultural norms and beliefs. There is a self-reinforcing mine culture that does not favor women. Since the work is labor-intensive, there is a perception that men are better suited to work in the sector. Consequently, women are often sidelined, even when they are part of a cooperative with men as their partners. Moreover, a lot of ASM activities are taking place in rural areas where women have continued to be undermined due to socio-cultural norms. This study found that culture has to some extent negatively influenced the participation of women in ASM. It was revealed that there were some traditional beliefs that prevented women from entering mining sites during their menstrual cycle for fear that this would lead to the minerals disappearing.
Myself as a woman, there are times when you have to work with men, of course, and working with men is not an easy thing. Because as a woman, you can't go in the pit to see what is there. So there's that challenge because they'll take advantage of it. And thinking you are not going to get into the pit. So they take advantage of you.
Opportunities for women in the ASM sector. ASM presents a lot of opportunities for women to engage in mining activities. There are key resources that can be exploited and there is a growing opportunity to tap into non-traditional minerals such as gemstones, gold, and industrial minerals, among others. Expansion of the mining supply chain. Zambia is endowed with a variety of mineral resources spread across the country. The promotion of non-traditional minerals such as gemstones, pebble stones, granite, aggregate, flat stones, clay, and limestone, among others are key minerals that women can exploit. Additionally, the promotion of industrial minerals presents a good opportunity for women as these are minerals that are easy to identify and can be found on the surface, which may not require much capital investment and machinery in comparison to minerals that require underground extraction such as emeralds, which require huge capital investments. Value addition. The processing of minerals for value addition is a critical component to increase revenue generation and is an important opportunity for women to derive economic benefits from ASM activities. Supporting the development of initiatives in value addition and processing for local content utilization is a field where women are thriving and ASM is able to absorb more women. There is a need to increase opportunities for women to earn income through value-added livelihood opportunities beyond ASM, which is inextricably linked to reducing poverty in artisanal mining communities. Investments in processing centers such as the Gemstone Processing and Lapidary Training Center are a critical aspect of promoting value addition to local minerals.
Actually, UNDP has come up with a new model for the machinery that where some of this machinery could be fabricated, because I think we have actually enough technology. People who are learned, and this I would refer to like Northern Technical College. They do metal fab, a bit of engineering there. Because some of this equipment, even when you see the product, you might think it's complicated. But it's just a grinder, a sewing machine, you know, with a motor, pulleys, and dribble. So we're exploring that to say, why don't we now also manufacture?
Marketing. Opportunities in ASM have been gradually expanding to complement the mining of various materials such as gemstones and silver for the development of finished products which are then marketed on the international market. Many women in mining have expanded their income base to include selling of finished products such as jewelry and ornaments from gemstones such as amethyst, quartz, tourmaline, malachite, amazonite, citrine, among others. The growing opportunities in the marketing of local minerals is an avenue for women to engage with the ASM sector to trade local products and increase their revenue generation from these products. It also opens up market linkages for women entrepreneurs who may not be miners themselves but are able to generate an income for improved livelihoods. This in turn boosts productivity of miners as there is growing demand for raw materials, joint ventures and cooperatives. Organized small-scale mining is an opportunity for women to participate and derive benefits from the sector. Especially if they partner with skilled personnel trained in mining fields, they would be better placed to understand their operations and requirements in order to maximize their benefits. Joint ventures and cooperatives could also help address the challenges of financing within the mining sector, as members could pool their resources or attract capital through joint ventures. The deliberate strategy by the government to call for formation of cooperatives could help address the challenge of formalization and create a conducive environment for ASM to thrive. Capacity building. The need for technical skills development as well as soft skills such as negotiation, business management and leadership skills, are crucial for enhancing the participation of women in ASM. Women are more likely to participate in greater numbers and play more significant roles if they have fair access and control over land and subsurface minerals, financing, and decision-making surrounding land use at the local level. The government, with support from cooperating partners, has developed various programs and platforms aimed at supporting the growth of women in the sector, such as the African Caribbean Pacific European Union Minerals Development Project. Strategies to empower women in the ASM sector. Government is urged to develop a standalone mining policy for the ASM as well as mineral-specific strategies in order to effectively identify and address the challenges faced within the subsectors. This will also help map the country's mineral resources and provide a clear roadmap for their exploitation. In the same vein, developing strategies for value addition could help establish provincial centers for processing and value addition such as lapidaries. Additionally, this could increase opportunities for women to earn income through value-added mineral processing in order to improve their livelihoods beyond ASM. Government should consider expanding initiatives to formulate and communicate supportive policies and best practices in gender equality in the ASM sector through the creation of national action plans that address gender equality in the mining sector. These policies should seek to address the challenges faced by women in ASM and mainstream gender affirmative practices in license issuance, technical skills development, access to geological information and markets. Government is urged to support women-led ASM businesses, cooperatives and networks through the provision of incentives such as tax incentives, easing of formalization standards, improved access to finance through the establishment of a fund at the Ministry of Mines and Minerals Development, improved access to technology as well as extractive and processing machinery, among others. These incentives could encourage formalization of the ASM and spur productivity, which is necessary for economic growth and job creation. There is an urgent need to identify and address structural impediments such as cultural and gender norms, that continue to undermine women's participation in decision-making, access to resources, and economic participation in productive sectors such as mining.
The major challenges working capital, mining equipment. Mining equipment, we are talking of like the machines that you found. So you found 2 excavators there. But we need like maybe 5 brand new excavators, 3 dump trucks. That way we can work faster. But if you also see the running capital will go mostly to fuel, to run the machines, the water pumps, and then there will also be money for wages of workers and just the day-to-day running capital of the mining. Yeah. So the challenges, like we have indicated, those are like the main ones. Because if you have working capital, you are able to work smoothly. Yeah, because you have targets in a month, in 3 months, where you want to get to. We don't want to remain where you have found us. But if we have working capital, obviously, you know, you find the small scale was at the small scale size. You are maybe now medium. Yeah, medium. When you are in production at medium scale, obviously you go into large scale. Because a lot of people feel large scale mining is because of maybe the large scale land you have. No, it's the large scale status is the operations.